How are we going, everybody? Today I'm working on my Espalier trees that I've neglected. It's like everything else in my garden, isn't it? Anyway, this is the top row that I'm putting back in because I never did put one in. This is a horizontal. So what we're doing here is a formal Espalier. I've got 3 apple trees, or one's a pear tree, and 2 apple trees. I did plant in too close to these conifers, that's the truth of it all. So that means that not only they're going to compete with the foliage, but they'll be competing in the root system as well. Look, these trees are pretty tough. They'll find their way through it all. They've actually lived on neglect at the moment. The irrigation's down, but if you look down there, you can see the pipes are broken and we haven't bothered to fix it. So these have been living on neglect, and the rainfall that we've had now, this has grown out of control. A year ago or so, I did this. I cut the top off. You can see the central leader. So a formal Espalier basically means you've got horizontal lines every 30 or 40 centimetres. I've got them probably about 20, 25 at the moment, a little bit tight, but we'll see how we go with it because we haven't got any growth on this side yet. We haven't been able to establish it. We've got some here, we've got some on that side. This one's starting to come out, and here's already starting to grow out. So every little sort of bump that you see on the trunk is a node of potential growth to come out of there like that there and develop into a lateral. Now, the aim is to have horizontal lines, and once they're established and nice and rigid and thick, see this is loose, you can take the framework out. That's why this is sort of temporary and rough looking. Now, what you do is you strip everything else in between that you don't need. This one here at the moment, we've cut the top off. There's not a lot to prune down here. What we're going to do is train this back down again like that on both sides. Now, I've let this go for a little bit too long. Look how hard the wood is there. Well, look how thick it is. What's that, about 10, 15 millimetres in diameter? So it's already taken that shape. It's quite rigid, I reckon. Trying to pull it down without snapping, it's going to be a challenge. But we've also got to prune it once we do that. So let's start by shaping the one of them. Let's go with this one here. Bring it down to there. One there. One there. Now, all the side growth that you see here, if you don't prune that back, that'll just continue to grow all the way out. The aim is to cut it back to a couple of buds, and that's what I'm going to do here, just cut it back like that. I'm not going to get any fruit this year. We don't want any. Well, it's too late for it to flower anyway. So cut it back to a short stump, like that, there. And at the end, see where it's there? Now, if you don't prune that off, it'll continuously grow. Even when I do prune it off, it's going to try and grow anyway. So, you know, a continuous maintenance of pruning is going to be required on the tips of these. And there's one more over here to cut off there. There we go. Oh, I missed one down here as well. All right, so it's nice and short. That's all done. Now let's try the other side. Now, if we continuously prune it back that short, you should, over time, develop some flower-bearing buds or spurs. Now, this one here also needs to be tied back, but let's get this central trunk in place, like that. Put another one here. Now, we're going to curve this ever so gently, like that there. All right, we can probably just put one more here. There we are. All right, so that's in place. We've got to fix down there in a minute. Let's get up to this one. Let's see what happens. I've been known to split branches from pulling a bit too hard. Actually, before we do that, let's just put that there. Let's prune this back so we can see what we're doing. Back to a couple of buds is all it needs. You don't have to be perfect with it, folks, because it's all going to reshape itself pretty much immediately. All right, just cut it off like that. You know, at the end of the day, most of these, every second one I'm going to probably remove because there are way too many too close. Let's find the center here. Let's pick one central leader. Which one can we pick? They're all split. That one there should be the one. That's this one here. It's the smallest one, but it's okay. We can go with that. So we actually, no, cut it there, cut it there, cut it there. Okay, there we are. So that's been stripped. And let's see if we can tie it down. Okay, we'll start, it needs one here. You can see where the stress point is, just there. So that's where it needs to be tied, as well as here, and then back up like that. So let's see if I can feed one around here. Now, this is the tape tool that I'm using, folks. Oop, I didn't do it properly. Right, I'm going to put 2 here just to keep it strong. It's the quickest way to tie anything. There we are, beautiful. Now we'll just keep adding some. Now I did a segment on this a couple of days ago. I think it was a Saturday morning, and we did sell out pretty quick within a couple of hours, folks. But the online team had a lot of emails yesterday morning, so they did a lot of hunting around, and we've tracked down another 100 of this model here. That's the tape tool with a small spool. That spool there is that size, as you can see. There is one other one that we got that's a larger spool on it, so it takes a bigger tape and it's got a larger housing on it. So they're both available. Like, there's only 50 of the larger one and less than 100 of these ones, and that's it for this year, for at least 6 months. There are more expensive ones in the market. We'll look into those if we sell out of these, but for now, if you're looking for something easy to use, see that? It's available on our website. Now let's finish this one here off too, so that needs to sort of sit there. We can train one across like that one there, or this one here, because this one in the middle here looks like it's just going to bud up and start producing fruit. So we may do that. Yeah, let's just cut that one off. All right, you can do that. You can have a dog leg like that, folks. There's no harm in that. See that there? You can do that. And over time, as it thickens up, oh, look, I could take that off completely now, but I won't. Just leave it there. It's not harming anyone. All I'm going to do is tape this up there, like that, and then bring this one back down so it's nice and level, like that there. All right, and over time, we'll just work it slowly and tape it a bit more and shape it up. Now this one here, it's reached its end. I'm going to take the end off that off. All 3 of them, just cut them off like that. You can thin them out, leave 1 or 2 if you like. Eventually one of these will start producing fruit for us, and we're laughing. So that's this one here. From what it was up right at the top, we've straightened it up there. We've got one there, we've got little ones growing on. Hopefully this one here, look, I'm not going to stress it yet. I'll just let it grow out, and afterwards I'll bring that around here like that there. So that still needs to be trained, but it's still too short to be brought around. So this is okay. I'm happy with this, considering that I've done absolutely nothing for the last year. Over here, this is an apple. Again, it's missing the top row. I haven't installed it here. I've got 1, 2, the second one's just there. I can train, so we can take that off like that there. So we can train that across and that across. Don't prune them back, because otherwise they'll become stubs. And here, let's have a look at what's going on here. All right, so we've got this branch that's come around there like that. That needs to be tied up. All right, let's just do some tying up. You know, with this tape too, it doesn't hurt if you grab a leaf or 2 into the taping. It won't cause any dieback on the tree or anything like that. Now here, what have we got? There. That needs to go there. Let's tape the trunk first. That one there. And then we'll just tie this one up to it as well. There. Put another one there, like that. Done. That's okay. That needs to be pruned back. That down there's okay as well. These need to be taken back because they're going to grow out too long. Just cut them back like that. Just weeds. Again, this one's not too bad. This thing here is dropped. Again, folks, you can build the Taj Mahal of frames if you like, or you can just keep something simple like I've done here. And when it does actually form up properly, you can get rid of the entire framework. The tree will stand on its own freely. Get rid of this here. We did graft also. This is with the Italian grafting tool. About a year ago, folks, it's just taken off, and we've got another bud growing on this side there. So I think this one's something tropical. I can barely read it, but I've got it written down inside. So we've done a graft up there. Did we do a graft down here? No, we haven't done a graft down here. But you can graft. You can do multiple grafts. Is that another one there? No. Anyway, I've got labels all over this place. So this is doing pretty good. We just need this one to fill out now. And obviously a couple of years later, as it thickens up, take the framework out. We've got one more to look at. And this one needs a little bit of work. All right, so obviously when I planted this, we only had an upright, no laterals growing on. Maybe these couple here, that's about it. Now, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Obviously, I think there's one too many horizontals. I might take this one out and put it up the top here because we've got some new growth. Well, actually, no, not even. That will move up to there. That should be there. Let's start from the bottom, eh? That goes there. All right. We need one of these to become the other side. Well, look, I'll leave all those three as they are. Whichever one takes off, that's the one we're keeping. Get rid of this one at the back with espaliers, east, west, left, right, north, south, whichever way you want to call it as far as coordinates. But if you go north, south, you go no east, west. If you go east, west, you can't have any north, south. Does that make sense? Grows to the left or grows to the right. Anything growing out, like here, for example, this little one here, see that? That comes off. Another one, yeah, let's just take that off. And obviously from the back as well. We've got some at the back growing. That can all come off. That little one there comes off as well. Now, if you're trying to establish one on one side and you haven't got any growth, but you've got 3 sprouts like this, leave them alone. One of them will eventually become your leader. Put this on like that to hold the tree in place. And then we're going to bring this down slowly to here. 1 and 2 there, like that. Now, are we keeping this one or are we keeping that one? What are we doing? Hard to tell. We can keep that one, but that's too close. But that's a better branch. So this one's going to have a bigger distance, and see that one on that side? That'll become the opposite side. So we sacrifice, folks. We take that one off and this little thing on the other side off as well. And these are too close now to the whole thing. So now we have this horizontal, one there, oh, 2 there. That's too short to do yet. And we should keep this tree straight there. Now we have the other one. Now that's the other one there. We've got one here growing out there. So these two can be the next one. This one up the top here, that's growing out to the front. So we get rid of that, like that. And we get rid of these little ones here, like that. And there's one behind. And we work all the way up to the next level. So we've got all this stuff here in the way. Okay, we'll keep that one there. We've got something on this side I can't tell, but let's just get rid of that for now. Let's get rid of this for now. We've got one little one there, and we've got one at the back here. We've got one growing right at the back there in a way. Now, we can keep that, because the distance, if you look at this now, that's the biggest distance we have apart there. Ideally, I like to keep them, equal spacing. But that distance there is okay. This one, we can probably sneak up a little bit. I just broke the band, don't worry about that. We can sneak that up a little bit and work it to there, that's fine. That one's okay. We can go higher, or we can take these ones here, actually. I kind of like, look, I even like this up here, see that? So I might just sacrifice all this at the bottom. I'm going to do that. Why wait for these to grow when I've got that stuff already at the top? Yeah, that could become fruit bearers, but we don't need that. Leave those ones there. No, we'll take that one off. All right, we've got to reframe this, don't we? So what I've decided to do, folks, is the one that I had down here, I've just moved it up a little bit. Ignore this one here, because that's all tied up together to the sides as part of the framework. So this one's going to become the frame to hold the horizontals. You can see here. See, I've got it up there. I'm going to take this one off like that. And collect that after. And then we're going to tie it down to here. There. There. And then this one will go on that side, but not for now. I might try and get one around the trunk. Like that. That's done. Now, so we've got that one there. That's that space. One. That's okay there. So that can afford to go up a little bit. And we should be almost even in our spacing. Just a little bit higher actually. So that one there. Okay. Yeah, that's not too bad actually. It's not too bad. Okay, and we'll bring this down carefully but don't break it. One there and one there. Now on this side as well. Oh, I'm putting a bit of pressure on this. Now I'm putting 2 tapes here, folks. You can get away with the 1 tape, and there is a different grade of tape as well. So we're using a 15 UM. This stuff here can go up to 25 UM, which is the thickness of the tape itself. So it's a lot more rigid. But for what I'm doing here and for climbers and things like that, if you're going to be taping them up, the 15 UM that comes with the actual tape tool is all you need. But folks, at the end of the day, you can tie it up with soft tie that I've got here. You can use jute tie. You can use old clothing if you like. You can use almost anything. Just make sure whatever you use, if it's coarse or a hard wire inside it, make sure it doesn't actually cut into the bark of the plants, because it can cause ring barking and kill it off. This is what I'm talking about. See, this is the actual twist tie. The label broke off at some point, which is on the end of it. But see, inside this plastic coating, there's a little wire inside, like a typical bread plastic bags that you get your bread wrapped up in or tied up with. That is quite rigid, and if you leave it on, it doesn't give. And if the trunk starts to swell out, as all trees do, whether it's a trunk or branch, that can cut into it and cause a bit of damage. It basically ring bark and kill the tree if you're not too careful. So espaliering your tree, this is what you need to do, folks. If you want to tie it up with soft tie, go for it. Otherwise, check this out on our website, vasili'sgarden.com. It's the last day of our 44% off everything online discount. So use the coupon code word STORM to get your 44% off anything and everything online. It finishes at midnight, so you'd be crazy to miss out. It's all available at vasili'sgarden.com. From me, Vasili, Maresi.